Hi, I'm Sam Thurgood and welcome to my 2-minute Parsha. In this week's Sidra of Shmini, we learn of the requirements for kosher animals, and there are only 2 requirements. Every animal in the world that has split hooves and that chews the cud is a kosher animal. So split hooves, in other words, instead of having a paw or instead of having a complete hoof, it has these 2 distinct, 2 separated hooves. And instead of simply eating the food and then it passes through the system, it's like a cow or a goat. It eats the food, it goes into the first stomach, then it regurgitates that back into its mouth, it chews it again, and then it goes back and it digests it, and so forth. And the Ishbitzer Rebbe, Rabbi Mordechai Yosef Leiner, wants to know, what is it that we are supposed to learn? What is it that we can take from these 2 distinct qualities of the kosher animals that can make a difference to the way in which we live our lives? So the hoof, he says, is like the hand which is used to take. And if you want to be a kosher animal, if you want to relate to kashrut, that has to be imperfect. You can't have a perfectly taking hand, a hand that just grabs. There's got to be something missing in your taking ability. There's got to be a reticence to take. That's the split, the imperfection in the taking of the hand. And secondly, he says, what you do receive from Hashem, you don't just take and that's it. Whatever you receive, you have to be willing to give back as well. Now, it's an unusual lesson to learn, I believe, from this gastronomical way in which these animals eat. But the point being that you take and you give. You don't just take and then it's yours. Sometimes you'll see with small children, you'll give them a present and that's it. They've got it and they're not willing to give it to anybody else or share with anybody else. And yet sometimes you'll see that when somebody gets it, they receive and they'll say, and I'd like to share it as well. That's what it means to be a kosher animal. And so those 2 lessons, to have split hooves and to chew the cud, imperfect taking, and when one does take, one is willing to give forth and to share what one has received. Shabbat Shalom.